Hi there, this video is going to cover part 2 of 8.1, Law of Sines. So we started this already. We did the first couple examples. We're going to finish out those examples, or the rest of the examples, and then we're going to talk about the area of an oblique triangle. So as a quick reminder, this is the law of sines, and it can be partnered up in any two pairs. So I can say A over sine of A equals B over sine of B. I can say B over sine of B equals C over sine of C, or I can do the A's and the C's. A over sine of A equals C over the sine of C. And we'll use this to solve for any missing side or angle in a triangle when given angle, angle, side, angle, or side, side, angle of non-right triangles. We talked about the ambiguous case. You want to check for the ambiguous case when it is side, side, angle. So when you're given two sides and the non-included angle. And we go into it assuming that there could be a second triangle. We set up the first triangle. If it does not work, that's your no triangle case, because we would end up with sine equals a number bigger than 1. The second option is we get the first angle. We then find its supplement and then work two separate triangles. If the last angle on the second triangle is negative, then I know there's just one triangle. And then if not, I'll finish out the second one. We worked through those 3 examples, and we left off with example 6. So it says solve the triangle, and then you're given, so I'm going to label my triangle ABC. I'm given A is 31 degrees, side A is 12, and side B is 5. This is a side-side angle scenario. Again, I know because it's two sides and not the angle where they meet, so the non-included angle. So in order to set up any ratio, I need to find the one that I have both letters of, which in this case is A. So I'm going to say 12 over the sine of A, which is 31, would equal, the only other one I have information on is the B. So I'll do B, which is 5, over the sine of B, and we're going to call it B1 to remind us that there could be a second triangle. We're going to cross multiply from here. And divide by 12. Because that says sine of the angle equals that ratio, we're going to actually do sine -1. And I'm going to plug that whole thing in. So sine -1, again, making sure your calculator's in degrees. 5 sine 31, close the parentheses after the 31, divide by 12. And I get that angle B1 is 12.39. So I'm going to set it up. Angle B1, I have to still find angle C1 and side C1. And I'm going to say angle B1 is 12.39. So the fact that we got that value means already it's not a no triangle scenario. It still could be a second triangle. So if there is a second triangle, then I find B2 by doing 180 minus what we just got for B1. So 180 minus 12.39, and that's 167.61. All right, I'm going to go back to finish the first triangle out. I still need angle C1. I have angle A and B1. So I can do 180 minus the A, which is 31, minus B1, which is 12.39. And I get B, or C1 would be 136.61. And the last thing I need to find is side C1. So I'm going to use the A's that I was originally given, 12 over the sine of 31, equals C1, the side I don't know, over the sine of angle C1, which is 136.61. I'm going to cross multiply. And divide. And I'm going to type that all in. 12 sine 136.61. Close your parentheses or hit enter, and then divide by the sine of 31. And I get C1 equals 16.005. So 0, 1. Then I'm going to continue to work what could be my second triangle. So in my second triangle, I still have the same A information that was given to me and side B. I now have a new angle B2. So the next thing I need to find is angle C2. And then if that exists, I'll go to side C2. To find angle C2, it's the last of the three. So I'm going to do 180 minus the 167.61 minus the 31. Now I know already this is going to be negative, and because it's negative, that means there is not a second triangle. If it was not negative, if that in fact was positive, then I would set up the last ratio like I did on the left here with the A values, but I would use C2 over the sine of what I get from here. Because it's negative, I know there's only one triangle, and these three answers are all I need. All right, going to example 7. So on example 7, it says again, solve the triangle given. This time I'm given side C, side B, and angle C. So A, B, C. Angle C is 31, side C is 29, and side B is 46. So I'm missing angle A, I'm missing angle B, and I'm missing side A. This is, again, a side-side angle scenario, so I always want to make sure when I check for this one, make these 1s, and I'm going to make this A2. So first thing I'm going to set up is C's are what I have both of, so it's going to be 29 over the sine of angle C, which is 31, equals, the B is the only other thing I have, so 46 over the sine of, and we're going to call it B1. Cross multiply, 29 times the sine of B1 equals 46 times the sine of 31. Divide both sides by 29. And I get sine of B1 equals, and I'm going to type that all in after I hit sine negative 1. So I'm going to do sine negative 1 of that whole fraction. 46 times the sine of 31, close my parentheses, divided by 29. And I get B1 is 54.78 degrees. So that is angle B1, 54.78. Now that leads into angle B2, and the way I find angle B2 is 180 minus that. So 180 minus 54.78, and I get 125.22. Now I'm going to go back and finish out triangle 1, and then I'll go back to triangle 2. So on triangle 1, I've got angle C, which is 31, angle B1, which is 54.78. So if I want to find angle A1, I'm going to do 180 minus those other two. So 31 and 54.78. 180 minus 31 minus 54.78. And I get angle A1 is 94.2. And then the last thing I need to find from that triangle is side A. So I still use the original C's that I was given at the beginning. 29 over the sine of 31 equals A1 over the sine of 94.22. Cross multiply. And divide. And I'm going to type that in the calculator, 29 sine 94.22 divided by sine of 31. And I get A1 equals 56.15. Now I'm going to finish out the second triangle. So I already have C from the original, B2 from what I got from the supplement of B1. And so angle A2 is 180 minus C minus B1, or B2, sorry. So 180 minus 31 minus 125.22. And A2 is 23.78. And then the last thing I have to find is side A2. So I'm going to use original C's, 29 over the sine of 31 equals A2 over the sine of 23.78. Cross multiply. And divide by the sine of 31. And I get A2 equals 29 times the sine of 23.78 divided by the sine of 31. 22.70. So all 6 of these pieces of information would be part of your answers, and you'll see on WebAssign if there's space for the 6 space, or they will give you the 6 blanks to plug that in. All right, now for the easy part. So the area of an oblique triangle, area would be obviously of a non-right triangle. A right triangle, you could just do 1/2 base times height, or if you had the height of a triangle, you could use 1/2 base times height. But if you don't, and you are given 2 sides in the included angle, or side angle side, then you'll use these formulas to find the area. So it's 1/2 the product of the 2 sides times the sine of the angle in between them. So you'll always have one of each letter here. It'd be 1/2 BC times sine of A, 1/2 AB times the sine of C, or 1/2 AC times the sine of B. Pretty easy, straightforward. It will literally say find the area, round to 2 decimal places, and it will give you those 3 pieces of information. So in A, I have side B, side A, and angle C. So I'm going to do 1/2 AB sine of C, which is 1/2 52, well, actually 1/2 of 90 times 52 times the sine of 102. And then I literally type that in the calculator. I take the 1/2, make it 0.5, times 90 times 52 times the sine of 102. 2,288.87. It would be meters squared because it's area. Looking at B, it says you're given A, B, again, C. So this would be 1/2 A, B, sine of C, 1/2 24 times 18 times the sine of 80 degrees. So 0.5 times 24 times 18 times the sine of 80 degrees. 212.72 yards squared. And that's it for 8-1. So you're going to use the remaining time to submit these notes. It can be all of 8-1 if that's easier, or it can just be these slides we worked on today. If you are an AP Human Geo, just submit to that assignment when you're finished and submit a note if it's late that you were in the AP test. And the rest of you will use the remaining time to work on that 8-1 homework that's on WebAssign. Again, unless you are out today, it is due Friday. If you are out, then just submit it either with your admit slip or a comment saying that you are on at the AP Human Geo test. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.